When you prepare for your kids, like in the sense of like a will, or like it's funny. I told Just Blaze, like Just Blaze told me like we spoke one time about making a will, and I'm like, yo, I don't want to make a will because I feel like that means you're gonna die. And he's like, yeah, but you're gonna die, and you don't look at it like that because it's like it's got to be a tough thing, thinking like that. So recently, the other day, my lady, and sometimes I call her an exaggerant. It's not even a word, but I call her an exaggerant, and. So she was like, look, I'm going to send you an email with all the details, all the home insurance, my human resources, if anything happens to me, and everything. So she's like, don't open it up, just keep it in a safe place. And I was like, what the fuck is she talking about? So the email comes in, and in order for me to save it, I guess I pressed the button. I started to read it, and she's like, telling me like. I love you, and please raise our son to be the best man he could be. But she wrote in the beginning, if anything happens to me, you're reading this email. This is how I want to be buried. This is how I want to go. This is our policy number for insurance. Pete, don't spend all the money in one place. Be frugal, And, like I started reading, and she was like, she started writing to my son, like, yo, I love you with all my heart. You were the most important thing. Yo, this shit made me cry. Because I was like, damn, man, like, we don't think about it, but we got to prepare for our kids. I ask a lot of artists this, like, do you make music to prepare for your kids? Like, I remember Sean Price used to tell me all the time, like, yo, he had so many songs to prepare. That's why Bernadette is going to be able to drop an album for Sean Price. And it's important, I guess, to make a will. And I'll be honest with you, a lot of times growing up, I didn't have a lot. All I had was what I have, so I really didn't know what kind of will I was going to make. But, this is a topic I wanted to talk about, like, a lot of us, especially growing up in Brooklyn, about, my daughter's good. She got everything. But I don't know if I ever prepared to have everything for a will. You know what I mean? Like to leave her stuff. Now I'm starting to prepare for things, but I don't know. It's a touchy subject because you think about it, one day you are not going to be here for your kids. So, I don't know if people prepare for wills, or somebody wants to tell, like, what's their preparation for their kids.
I ain't have one. Like you said, I ain't have one. I'm a hood dude, so God forbid I die. My girl gonna have to go in the safe. Get that. You got the combo to the safe. You know what I'm saying? But you just put me on to that. That's kind of something I'm gonna have to look into now too.
Yeah.
Especially because you leaving your kids got nothing. That's kind of fucked up.
Sure, Jay, I always quote this. Anyone who follows me on Twitter or I always quote this. In Watch the Throne in New Day, Jay said, sins of a father make your life 10 times harder. And I never looked at that shit so much until I started to grow up. It took me a long time to mature to think of things like that.
Mm-hmm.
But, you want to prepare for them. And even if whatever you have, and, it's funny too, because like certain people I know that passed away, I remember like, in my neighborhood, like they would hit me up and they're like, yo, I'm trying to wash some money. And I'm like, let me see who I can speak to. Like a couple of weeks later, they passed away. So I had to tell their wife, like, yo, I don't know if you know, but maybe there's some money around the house. Mm-hmm. And they were like, yo, I searched this shit up and down, I don't find nothing. But what I'm saying is, a lot of us, look, I grew up with friends, I swear to you, if they passed, I guarantee you something stashed in the wall or something.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess what I'm saying, we have to prepare, whether you're as an artist, make more music, mm-hmm. make a stash, a gang of music, so, they can have to use later on, or just like as a father, I don't know. I mean, what do you prepare for?
Yeah, I mean, me and my wife made wills right before Lennox was born. It's
you're definitely prepared.
In my mom's parents died in a plane crash at 45, both of them together. My mom was probably 18 or 19 at the time. Her older sister was like 21, and then one of the daughters was like 16, 17. And so, you can imagine that's like a lot. They didn't have some fabulous wealth or anything, but they had a home and some money in the bank and that kind of thing. Plus the stewardship of the youngest daughter. And all this is getting sorted by two sisters that are 18 and 21. It's a lot when there's no directive or anything, which, you can imagine at 45, they had no plans. So definitely... as I've thought about these things, it's like I want all that sort of stuff sorted, sure. So that there's a succession plan after, me and my wife die. Who is Lennox going to live with?
Sure.
My parents or her parents or her sister or my sisters, and because to your point about the courts, like you don't want my parents and her parents in court
beefing over
custody.
Over custody with for a 4-year-old or something.
Wow.
But yeah, so I highly recommend it. It only costs a couple grand, and it gives me a lot of peace at night.
That's perspective, though.
What about you, Rob?
Nah, I haven't prepared or even really thought about it, but it's shit, God forbid, we travel, in this business a lot. I'm on planes a lot. Like, it's necessarily like things that you don't think about. Like, a car accident could do it. Like, you never plan to die, but it's like what Just Blaze told you. It's going to happen one way or another. So you might as well be prepared. So I'm actually taken aback by it because I'm like, damn, I'm slipping now.
I'm not. Me too. Like,
no way.
I'm saying this. I don't have a will. Like, I don't know will.
Yeah, but here's the thing.
I'm not preparing to die.
but here's the thing. Again, it's funny you're saying that. I'm not preparing to die. That's what I told Just. But he said, you're gonna die.
And like you brought up Sean Price. Like, I'm seeing people in my age bracket dropping off the map. Like, and it's,
Yeah, you're getting old, man.
I mean, but it is what it is. Like,
no, but you know what? I think about it. And Cass, you could relate.
I tell people all the time, you only as old as you feel, and I don't feel old, and I guess that's part of the reason why I haven't made preparations to not be here.
Cass said something ill though, real quick, and not even to get in your business, but you was like, look, just take the combo to the safe. Yeah. But you as an artist now, it's just dawning on me, like, you have things of value that don't fit in the safe, like your publishing. You know what I'm saying? Which could live forever and things like that. It's crazy. It's stuff that we never, I think about. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm definitely me. I'm gonna listen to you. I'm gonna get a will, but I'm not making none of the ladies getting it. The kids. I'm putting that in there. Do not give it to her. No, nobody eats except the kids.
50% each for the kids. You got 2 kids.
That's it.
But it's a funny conversation, but it really brings light. Like, and I'm saying that, like, like from being somebody who hasn't done it like that. You even think about it growing up, right? The way we grew up in Cats, you could probably, I'm sure Rob, and a couple of other us here, guys I grew up with, and I said this recently, the OGs I grew up around, they didn't teach me to, say, build my credit. They didn't teach me to learn how to be a first-time homeowner. So the point I'm trying to make is, like, to our kids, it's important to teach them that. Important to teach them about, like, investment and property, and teaching. Like, I didn't even know till I met my lady that I'm with now. She's the first, like, girl that has her shit together. I've always been with girls that, like, I had to take care of. This girl taught me about, like, FHA loans, and that you only need, like, 3. The whole point of me never having a home was because I couldn't afford the down payment. I didn't know you could get an FHA loan. It's like 3.5%. You only have to put that down. If you get approved for a first-time homeowner. Like, so the point I'm trying to make is teaching your kids this. Like, it's important. People we grew up around really didn't. Like I always say, the money I had on me growing up in Brooklyn, the way I grew up, is everything I had on me. But nobody knew that in the club. I used to pull out a fucking rubber band, like, at the bar, like, I may have had 6,000-7,000, but that's all I had on me.
That's how you got the name Premium P.
Ah, man, shit. Nah, but what I'm saying, they didn't teach, you even look at, like, this is a whole nother story I don't want to get into, but you think about, like, the schools. Schools need to evolve too.
Yeah.
Why don't they have an entrepreneur class? Why don't they have a first-time homeowner class? Why don't they have a build your credit class?
Just financial literacy, period.
Mm-hmm. Because I'll tell you, calculus, like, I traded commodities back in the day. I never used calculus ever. So, you want me to pass calculus, but I don't use that in life. There's a lot of things to talk about, but even just like, you think about it, like teaching your kids things at a young age is an important thing,
That's very important, and it kind of lead them in the right path. You know what I'm saying? Because we hooked on, like, in the hood, we hooked on so much other things than we care about fashion and stuff like that. Sure. Balmains and stuff like that. So when you teach them, like, with that 2 pair of jeans you bought, you could get a crib. Sure. Because you only need 10%. Certain stuff like that. My man put me on too, like, Cash, you in a condo, you could just get our house, right? And I'm stuck in my ways. I'm like, nah, I need security at the front, the back. I need cameras. He said, you can do that at your house. You know what I'm saying? But you're right. Stuff like that. Educate the kids, definitely.